I think I can already see the number increasing. I'll not wait more.
Yeah,
Hello and welcome everyone to yet another power-packed discussion on Be Waste Wise Forum. I'm Akanksha Singh. I'm the community builder at Be Waste Wise. And just a brief intro on Be Waste Wise. We are a non-profit organization, and we've been bridging this global waste solutions expertise gap for more than 10 years now. And if you see the value in making such diverse sustainability dialogues, such as these, available free of charge to anyone and everyone, then we request you all to please support us in our mission. We encourage you all to please check out our website and donate. We will be sharing the link to the donation page over the chat as well. We are talking about the new solid waste management rules 2026, which are now the most talked about and prominent topic in the Indian waste management scenario. They promise stronger segregation, accountability, and decentralized waste systems, especially for bulk waste generators. But do they actually work on ground? To deep dive into this discussion, we have with us renowned and most apt dignitaries on our panel. We are grateful to Professor Dubey, our moderator today, for frequently facilitating such insightful discussions and empowering our audience on our forum with many eminent speakers like today. We have Swati Sambyal. She is a senior policy analyst and circular economy expert, and also the principal expert pollution for in Grid RNL. She is a sustainability professional for over 14 years of experience in the waste and circular economy sector in the global south. We also have Dr. Sunil Pandey. He's a director, circular economy and waste management division at the Energy and Resource Institute, most commonly known as TERI. We also have Manoj Singh Shekhawat. He's a chief divisional manager and head of operations at Tata Steel Utilities Infrastructure Services, with over 25 years of experience in municipal solid waste management, urban sanitization, and urban infrastructure services. As most of you all know, Professor Dubey is an environmental engineer, an educator, researcher, trainer, and consultant in the area of circular engineering, environmental engineering services, and health, presently at IIT Kharagpur. Before we proceed to this discussion, I have some announcement to be made. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded on our YouTube channel and on our website. Please use your Q&A function for all your queries to the panel and chat function separately for all your views and comments and networking. Let's not mix both the channels like this, because then we will miss out on all the queries that are there in the chat section also. um, before I also conclude, I also wanted to say that there is one poll which is going to be run by Professor Dubey over this particular topic. So over to you, Professor Dubey.
thank you, Akanksha, and I would like to welcome all our panelists for today's webinar. So, before we get started, what we thought is just to get the pulse of the audience. So we have a simple question which Akanksha is going to populate now, in terms of what do you think is the major bottleneck which is not, which is kind of hindering our proper waste management on the ground. So what do you think about that? So the poll is up. So if you can just put your questions, we'll put your answers, sorry, if you can put your answers, then we can quickly look at the summary of that. So while the poll is running, see, I will just get going for the interest of time. So we are talking about solid waste management rules. You know that the rules is going to be implemented from 1st of April, 2026. So when this rule came up, we thought that why don't we have a dialogue on this particular rule? And to have the dialogue, this eminent personalities have kindly agreed to join me on this panel discussion. I don't think anybody who working in the West domain needs introduction of Dr. Sunil Pandey or Dr. or Swati Singh Sambyal. They are well-known faces in the country and globally as well on the waste management domain. And we have invited Jamshedpur city because they are the third city in terms of such a surveytion. And there are a lot of good initiatives happening at Jamshedpur city. So we'll learn from Manoj Singh Shekhawat later on that. So as in terms of this new rules, there is a focus on moving towards rather than treatment more in terms of circularity. So circular economy concept is coming in. Bulk weight generators have been clearly identified. New expectations from the bulk waste generators are also there. And in terms of, if you look at now we are going for the 4 bin segregation rather than earlier it was 3 bin of, but effectively 2 bin. It was wet and dry and household hazardous waste. Now we have 4 bin system. Segregation should be done. Different forest. Then you have also talking about support for waste processing infrastructure. We are looking at extended bulk waste generator responsibility, RDF mandates, a lot of things, restriction of landfill, remediation of legacy site. First time is special provisions for hilly area and islands. Integration of informal sector is being talked about. High focus on circular economy. And so there are lots of challenges. There are a lot of opportunities under these rules. So today in this webinar, we'll be focusing on all these aspects. So I think we are almost done with the poll. I think, Akansha, we can close it now. Still people are participating, but those of you, quickly, if you can answer that, we would like to close and then move on. We got 56 out of 87 people have already participated. So just pick one which you feel more relevant in terms of whether it's poor segregation at source, whether it's lack of accountability among bulk waste generators, whether it is weak enforcement or limited infrastructure and funding. Which you think is the most important? I think it's not moving anymore, so let's stop. So we see that 55% thinks about the poor segregation at source, and then 23% is the weak enforcement, 14% is the limited infrastructure, and 7% thinks that it's lack of accountability among bulk waste generator. So we'll stop this poll now, and then we'll move on to discuss further. So without any further taking time, I will request Dr. Sunil Pandey to start the discussion in terms of what this new rule is trying to accomplish and what he thinks should happen at the urban level to really make it happen. So Dr. Sunil Pandey, floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Dubey. And new rules certainly, as you said in the opening remarks, certainly are a way forward, and it basically provides more teeth to urban local bodies and also regulators in terms of one is ensuring compliance, second is transparency, third is to basically in case of violation, looking at provision of penalties which were not defined earlier. And earlier, if you see either 2000 or 2016, rules, the penalty provision was little arbitrary, where urban local bodies were deciding on their own penalty system and kind of trying to impose that. And so this is certainly a way forward. And but there are challenges. There are challenges for the urban local bodies, which we can discuss later. But then this is certainly a step in right direction. Implementation would take time. It's a new system, much like electronic waste and much like plastic waste, where data and details have to be uploaded on portal, especially looking at bulk waste generators, and much like EPR type responsibilities also attached to bulk waste generators, looking at how efficiently they can manage their waste at either their source, or looking at purchasing credits to get it managed at somebody else's premise. Interesting aspect here is basically looking at one thing which always used to be bone of contention is looking at, because 50% of our waste, or 50 to 60% of our waste in most of the cities is organic or green waste. And as you know, I mean, it's also a high moisture content waste. And if that has to be transported over long distance, then essentially we are looking at unnecessary transportation of moisture also to that long distance. So this rule for the first time also is emphasizing that as far as possible, the waste the green waste or bio waste has to be treated at the ward level or local level, and looking at technologies like composting or biomethanation, which I believe would cut down on a lot of expenses on the collection and transport. Because if you look at financial allocation of resources, much of it is spent in collection and transport. Very little left for improving the waste management processing or improving the disposal infrastructure. So that, in my assessment, would also divert some money to basically value add the processing and disposal facility infrastructure, which the rule also mandate. But many of the local bodies have not been able to implement those because of lack of funding. So I'll stop here and then we'll come back again.
Thank you, Dr. Pandey, for your opening remark. So then let's move it to Swati. Swati not only works in India but works in many emerging economies around the world. So with your experience, Indian and global experience, Swati, what do you think, what should happen on ground to really make the rule work? We had earlier rules 2000, 2016, now it's 2026, but how to really make things work on the ground? What are some, uh, based on your expertise of looking at different economies, what do you suggest?
Thanks, Prajesh, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this discussion. And also, it's also an important opportunity for me to learn from the likes of yourself, Dr. Dubey, Dr. Sunil, Mr. Shekhawat, including the attendees, which has, participants whom I know personally who are working in this field past decades. Well, on the new rules, of course, we had, a, we said in 2016 that the SWM Rules 2016 were a paradigm shift coming from the solid waste management and handling rules of 2000. And almost a decade after 2016, we have the new rules. If we look closer to the rules, of course, it's clear that we are moving from waste management to more of materials management, and we're also sort of linking in terms of policy to the broader discourse around resource, economic, and governance systems. But clearly, I mean, I feel a bigger question is to ask is that, are we content, with the implementation of SWM Rules 2016 past decade? And do we feel we've been able to address the key gaps that existed? And whether the current rules are a bridge to those gaps? In terms of, the new rules, of course, as Dr. Sunil said, they do strengthen accountability across the system, from households to bulk waste generators, introducing clearer thresholds, responsibilities, compliance systems, but also being careful around the fact that a lot of waste management systems are informal in nature. And whether those informalities that exist within the system, within our complex ecosystem on waste management in India, will they be able to, how will we hold the informalities accountable is one big question. Of course, there is digital traceability that has been introduced with centralized platforms for tracking waste flows, reporting, and compliance. And I do agree it's a major step towards evidence-based, data-driven governance. But then clearly, we've also seen through the implementation of the plastic waste management rules, and more so the extended producer responsibility for packaging, that it's not that easy. Our ecosystem is extremely complex. So again, I would believe that the systems need to be streamlined further. Of course, we await the operational guidelines from Central Pollution Control Board on how these rules would be implemented on the ground. But clearly, introducing digital traceability and then implementing it are two different things. Also, thirdly, of course, the new rules push the system towards circular economy outcomes through measures which I believe for India is shifting from collection and disposal model to a more life cycle based compliance-driven circular systems. But to each city their own when it comes to implementation. I believe we still look at waste as waste, but not as material. Hence, there will clearly be a lag in implementing circular systems, or, for instance, how would we strengthen the urban design around waste management systems, complementing the new rules. So these are, some of the critical feedback that I have. When we compare globally, especially with economies, and I would not like to compare with Europe or Scandinavia or a US or Australia, but I would like to compare with, say, a Brazil or a South Africa or a Vietnam or Indonesia, we clearly see similar steps that have been taken from a policy perspective. For instance, for Brazil, there's been a national solid waste policy, and there's been a recent 2025 decree that reflects a strong move towards EPR-based systems and reverse logistics. But it also involves, apart from national targets, it also involves companies which are, for instance, required to ensure that plastics or packaging per se is collected and recycled. One of the key lessons that we have from Brazil is that there is a shared responsibility across the value chain, and it's not just municipalities that are being burdened with the waste management, logistics and compliance, etc. With South Africa, clearly we have, the country has a strong legislative base under its environmental framework, also much stronger cooperative governance principles. However, like many, like countries such as India, of course, there are key gaps that still exist. For instance, the implementation capacity varies right from a private sector to an informal value chain person. There are infrastructure gaps which also kind of exist within the Indian ecosystem. And municipalities mostly struggle with service delivery in rapidly growing urban areas. With Indonesia, of course, we've clearly seen more community systems. And in the recent years, with work that has been invested in via ASEAN and World Bank and quite a few multilateral, bilateral partners, we see that there's been a lot of work that has been done around financing and innovation. So, of course, they have stronger community-based waste systems, which I believe is something that we can also take inspiration from. They also have an increased focus on plastic reduction within their waste management rules, bylaws, etc. And then there are also a lot of growing investments that are being seen around blended finance, plastic credits, etc. Sorry, I'm diverting a bit towards plastics, but at the same time, I feel with most of these countries and Indonesia, we see there's still a large share of waste that still ends up in landfills or leaks into the environment, very similar to our situation. However, I think a major takeaway is that the behavioral change and local systems for Indonesia are as important as regulations, and they've been able to leapfrog on these aspects. So, I feel when we look at these countries, and I'm skipping Vietnam to save time, but what we see is a common pattern that there's rapid urbanization, there's rising waste generation. There's also a heavy reliance on landfills. Informal sector plays a critical and crucial role, but they're often under-recognized in spite of, the heavy lifting that the policies have done for informal sector. On the ground, I feel the links are still missing. And also there's an increasing pressure to align with circular economy and climate goals, which we feel is yet not addressed. So I feel, for India, the rules and closing here, it positions us to align with global circular economy frameworks, also support emerging obligations with respect to multiple multilateral frameworks on plastics and zero waste that are coming into picture past few years, but also build an integrated system around data, markets, and policy. But clearly, there is a real test ahead. We know for sure that policies often move faster than infrastructure and implementation. So clearly, we need to address the ground and strengthen the ground, which I feel is not yet empowered in terms of the multiple stakeholders that are a part of our waste management and our material management value chain. And digital systems, I believe, also as someone who's working extensively on data, digital systems are only as good as the data they receive. So how robust has been the inventorization work done on the ground, or how robust capacity building, has been undertaken to train stakeholders to do, such scale of work, is a key question. And I feel we still need to do a lot of work on technology. I mean, in our aim to sort of look for more circular systems, sometimes we may not recommend the best of technologies that exist on the ground. And here I'm leaning towards incineration, which I feel still believe is not the best fit for the Indian waste composition. So, how do we also strengthen municipal governance and decision making is a key question parallel to the rules. So I feel collaboration, capacity building, a lot of work on science policy interface, and utilizing the wealth of civic society and academia and policy centers that we have in India would be a key to take this, policy to implementation. I'll close my remarks here, rather long, but look forward to questions and comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Swati, for detailed opening remark. We'll come back. I think several questions will come along that line as well. So now we move to, of course, Jamshedpur city, Manoj Singh Shekhawat. So if you can talk about one of the major, as you saw the poll result, source segregation. As most of the participants also feel like that source segregation is kind of the key. And a couple of questions which is also there, and already there's a kind of links to having proper source segregation. So as a ULB, you are doing decently well. You probably, so what is the experience of Tata Jamshedpur in terms of where you are in your waste management, and how you have worked around these challenges, and how much you are ready for new rule? So, and you talk to several ULBs in your WhatsApp groups and all that, so you can share the experience of other ULBs as well if you are aware. So you are on mute, if you can unmute.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. From implementation perspective, I see that these rules are very positive and progressive looking forward, and they bring much clarity in compared to what we have seen the rules of 2016. And however, based on my ground experience and even what we have seen in the poll, whatever all the members who have joined us, they also feel that the waste management is not just a technical challenge to us. It is more of an kind of behavioral challenge that we are facing on ground. So I have prepared one small PPT also. I think, madam, if you can please share. Yeah, so this PPT actually focuses more on segregation, which is the one of the biggest challenge. Though bulk waste generator are also a challenge that we face on the ground with their compliances. But since the segregation, this is the basic. So whatever infrastructure that we put on ground, source segregation, everything is based on this source segregation only. So as I said, that I'm very positive with all the changes. These are just the major changes that have been there for system transformation. So one small survey was done by one of the students of Professor Bridges, and the findings which we what we got from that were really surprising to us also, even though we are working on the ground. That 67% of the those who are surveyed citizens, they feel that segregation is complex, and even 92% feel that they will segregate if collection is proper. Why they feel so? Because many of the citizens, they do the segregation. They have this practice of keeping the wet and dry waste separately. But when the vehicles come and they take their waste, segregated waste, and they put it into the one same vehicle which they are collecting the waste, then they feel that all their effort has gone in vain. So we have to focus more on the citizens, as because the citizens, they are ready, they are willing to do, but they are looking at our system and our processes also. Yeah, next slide now. So if you see, we have now come up with four-way segregation, but directly going for this four-way segregation to the citizens will still make it more complicated, because even the two-bin method was also tough for them, since just looking into the infrastructure, with the combination of infrastructure and the way the citizens, they are participating. So when I went through this draft, we just thought that instead of just putting up the name of four-way segregation, we can focus more on two-way, green and blue, and the third, red bag, that we can, since that generation is not very uniform. If you can see the sanitary waste, it is there in a few couple of very few part of days in.
Yeah, Manojji? Yeah, I think looks like there is some
that is generated. So that will be a better thing for them to just align with our present system, because transformation will take time going for the 4 bits. And even they look at our processings also. Next slide, ma'am. So if you see the problem, once we collect the waste, and when we do this awareness with the citizens, they are more happy when you just come up, when you show them that how we are managing their the waste that we are taking from them. So we in Jamshedpur, we have already long back we have planned for decentralized processing, and we even do the awareness in the school with the school children. We take these children to our facilities also, because the children, they are the future, who are going to just make sure that these things are implemented at ground. So we even have MRF plant, we have RRR centers, we do continuous awareness regarding that. And even whatever product that we remake from the waste that we receive at RR center, that also we again go back to the citizens, and we show them that these are the things that we have made from the that they have rejected from their houses. So this visibility of our processing, it gives more confidence to the citizens. And when they go through all these things, they see a change, and the behavioral changes are observed in that also. So we take these steps through media also. Every month we target that 2 or 3 such cases are thrown into the media, so that public citizens can come through what we are doing. Next slide, ma'am. So on field awareness, I will share a few of the activities that we are doing in Jamshedpur. And as you say, that awareness is not taken through one step. We have to work out through a very different channel, through a lot of tools that we have to work on. So what finally, next slide, madam. I think slides are not changing. So what finally that we have learned from our citizens is that the system of collection should be very simple. There must be a reliable collection. There must be a visible infrastructure. Next slide, please. So where this waste that we are taking, it get processed, and they should feel that whatever they are rejecting from the environment, if a small effort of segregation is put by them, then this is really going to make a big effort, and they feel that they are making a part to save the environment when their waste is getting processed at our plant. So people don't fail in the segregation. They fail just because our systems don't feel, systems do. And if we fix our system, then citizens will definitely follow it. Next slide, madam. Yeah, I have gone through it. So you can now just keep on changing the slides slowly, because they are more of the work that we are doing on the ground. Like we have 200 laborers who are doing trained these frontline workers for customer centricity, for just briefing them that what is the what will happen if they support them with the segregated waste. We have even taken this 200 people to our MRA plant, our RRI drive. We have shown them our plant also. 2-3 times we have taken them, given them training, on ground training of what difference it make if the waste is segregated at source. Next slide, please. So we have IC activities door to door. We have 15 members which are dedicatedly involved in these IC activities. And on daily basis, we cover 350 to 400 to 500 houses based on the nature of the area which we serve. So this is very important that when they do the segregation, we sometimes even provide free compost which is made in our plant, so that get them motivated, and it gives a feeling of owning, and what the result shows them that the effort are doing something for the better for the environment. Next slide, ma'am. And this awareness we keep on doing apart from the houses. We even target the market and the public places where citizens come. Even we are actually making clothes from the bags from the clothes that we receive at our RR center. And in last say 4 to 5 months, we have distributed around 10,000 bags in these vegetable markets, because when the people they just collect those single-use plastic, at that time only we just knock down and we just provide them this bag and just request them to keep on using those, and even that can be made at their home also. That is what the lesson that they take from our this drive. Next slide, madam. And as you said that in India, just if we are on a requesting mode only, these things will never be implemented. So enforcement is the one. And jab tak danda nahi chalega, these people will not support to that extent. So that last option is also used by us. Since we are a private type of ULB, so we cannot implement the penalty directly. So we have implemented them penalty letters. We have we have taken the help from the local municipality just to put the penalties on them. And even we have stopped taking the waste from their houses. And that thing has helped us more. Within a quarter time, we have seen that 20% of the houses started segregation when we stopped taking the waste from their houses. So these are the steps though we don't believe in strictness, but still we have to take, because somewhere and on we have to bring all the citizens to a single line of alignment. Then we even take there are incidents where people they start fighting with our workers. So we take the help of the local police thanas also, and we take them, we discuss with them, and we try to resolve those issues. So we have to continuously keep on trying for these activities, because segregation is such a part that without this, not a single efficient plant will be able to run. And if we do the segregation, all the things will come down to, and the job will be very simplified. Yeah, next slide, madam. So these are all the activities that we are doing. Just you can just have a go through it. And as I said that these activities, a single one or couple of activities won't work. We have to take an approach from all the direction. And the most important thing, if we look for next 2 to 3 things, then we need to target the school children, because they are the one. If you fail to convince the parents at home during the IC activities, these children after taking the lessons from the school, when they go and tell their parents, then the things become will try to come into the line. So in Jamshedpur, as we have around 125, 130 around some schools, and all the schools we target that within a quarter or within a 4 to 5 months, we try to reach to each and every school, and we get a good participation. And if you see, we get new ideas also from these students. So that are the base. So we have to holistically work from all the angles if we want that segregation happens at site. Yeah.
So thank you, Manojji, for giving a detailed presentation on what things are happening on Jamshedpur and what are the initiatives we are doing there. So we will take the discussion forward, and I see that several questions are already there on the Q&A section, and some of them has already been answered also by Swati, and I also answered a couple of them. So we'll start with Dr. Pandey again with you. There are 2 questions which are almost similar, like Sandeep Reddy and Sayan Saha, which their talking about that we haven't been able to do the two stream properly. Now we are moving towards the four-way bin. Isn't it too complex for many citizens? Like how we can, what is your thought on it, and how to get, like how to really make it work?
Sure. So, I mean, I was also actually coming to this. If you look at third and fourth, third remains a sanitary pad, sanitary waste, and fourth is special care, which earlier used to be called household hazardous waste, or more or less that expired medicine and cans and those things. So partly Mr. Shekhawat also answered that in his Jamshedpur experience, and many ULBs were also looking at innovative ways to do that. And we know that these are something which don't degrade with time. They're more stabler form of waste streams. Not sanitary pad, but special care waste in most of them. So this most of the time there's no need to collect them on a daily basis, and the generation also is not on the daily basis. And so partly Mr. Shekhawat answered that. I'll also flag a problem associated with these two categories because if you look at regulation 2016 also suggested that household hazardous waste at some point of time would be delivered to common hazardous waste facility and be disposed there. But it's easier said than done because not most of the states still don't have common hazardous waste facilities. Only the more industrialized states that have such kind of common facility. Sanitary pads, there's some smaller municipalities. I believe I was reading somewhere about Kolhapur. What they have done is they're tied up with a local hospital there, a multi-specialty hospital, who happens to be connected to biomedical waste treatment and disposal facility. And they line up with them, and then they send their sanitary waste to this common biomedical waste facility, which also has an incinerator. So such innovation would be required for these two categories. And also partly Mr. Shekhawat also answered that these are not something which are generated on a daily basis. So it has to be a kind of there has to be a feedback mechanism on when these waste streams, especially the sanitary waste stream, when it gets generated, there has to be intimation to collectors that on that particular day they can come and collect those waste streams, and the end recycling or end disposal has to be tied up with a relevant organization.
So yeah, thank you, Dr. Pandit. So moving on, Swati, you did talk about in terms of different countries as well, the experience from Brazil and all those countries. So there is a comment here or kind of a question as well from Asim Saxena. He is talking that we do have a strong waste management rules on paper, but implementation is still varies a lot. So what do you think is, again, I would, since you have worked in abroad in recent times quite a bit, so in terms of governance and accountability, like where we are missing, what is how we can, because we all know we are, like we have been working in this domain, we know the problem, we know the solution, but it's still on the ground, we are not able to do it. So what is the magic magic thing that we need to do to make it work?
Yeah. Thanks, Brajesh, and thanks, Asim, for the question. I mean, as you rightly said, we are close to 4,400 statutory towns and cities, and now the rules also extend to, the rural part of our country. So clearly, as we expand, we need clear accountability across actors, which presently is not there. We also need consistent enforcement and monitoring, which we know is lacking. I mean, look at the status of pollution, state level pollution control boards in our country. The manpower is lax, the technical capacity is missing. So clearly, I mean, we really also need to work on building existing manpower and strengthening local capacities, both technical as well as financial. And here I'm not talking about the municipalities that can do this, but here I'm addressing for those municipalities where probably there's only one person accountable for sanitation, which includes both water and waste and holds several other responsibilities. I myself, in my tenure, have worked in many such towns in the country where probably there's only one person within the municipality managing waste. So clearly, I mean, of course, we need to strengthen manpower and local capacities. And what I feel is that often responsibilities, they are not defined and they're not actively monitored at city level. Uh, of course, technology can help through real-time tracking, and you can have transparent reporting formats and data-driven compliance systems, but it must be paired with institutional capacity and incentives to be effective. And clearly, that's where we lack. I mean, you discuss with anyone where we are lacking when it comes to waste management, and the fact that even after 10 years, we're still addressing waste management. We haven't really moved beyond that is the fact that, well, at the core of it, we haven't really address behavior. And when we talk about behavior change, it does not just means the waste generator, but it means every person or every stakeholder that is a part of the resource or waste value chain. So clearly, I mean, everyone needs to be held accountable, needs to be monitored, needs to be capacitated, and even behavior change needs to be frequently monitored. And I feel the time of pilots is over. The time of doing interventions in a few wards is over. We have to look at citywide municipal planning. How can we strengthen it and back it by data? So no strategy or action plan for a city on waste, which is not strongly backed by data, because then we are just, sort of making false promises and not leading to any real intervention on the ground. I'll stop here.
Yeah, thanks. So coming to Manojji, there are a couple of questions on ULB focused. So do you think there is a question from Amrita that can ULBs realistically operationalize that new rule given the capacity? And then there's a kind of connected question is that Indian citizens have mostly economic output driven mindset. So how can we encourage citizens to follow segregation as part of their daily routine? And you have done some work on that area. That's from Preeti Indrakala. So if you can touch on these two aspects, Manojji, that would be great.
Yeah. For ULBs, I think it will be a difficult task, because as I said earlier, first thing that they have to take care is that of setting up the infra. Because if our side is clean, then only the citizens will be more than happy to participate in the segregation part. If that is not there, then it will be very difficult. Even nothing, your IC activities and all will be go in vain if the right infrastructure is not there for processing that waste. And pardon, the second question I could not get, sir.
So, it says that Indian citizens are mostly economic output driven.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
keeping that
So
mindset, how we can encourage source segregation. Yeah.
Yeah. So for that economic part, just put one penalty, and you will see that the nearby 20 to 50 houses will be in line with segregation the very next day. So that is what we have.
Manoj,
That
is
is,
it
sir.
penalty or Sam Dam Dandaved, all we have to do all four?
Just one penalty of, even as she said, for economic, even 100 rupees penalty, 20 household will be doing the segregation the very next day. So this thing we have seen in even not only in this, even we are doing vector control activities, the dengue control activities in Jamshedpur. So whenever we find any breeding, we put a fine. So once you put a fine, you will see that even the almost 100 to 200 houses will be in line for checking of the breeding in their houses. So same thing is here also. So that is one thing. One question I have seen that someone, I think Sonam was asking that West shoes. So this thing in our RRR center, we have seen a very good development of old shoes. We are collecting the shoes from the households, and we have put one cobbler. Just one cobbler is repairing around 500 around 500 plus shoes on monthly basis. And those shoes just they require minor, because now because today this time is of a fashion industry, not like our generation where we used to just continue wearing the shoes till the time it has given up its all the life. So nowadays, because of this fashion, if you see that the shoes or the this thing which is coming into our waist, mostly they are workable. And if we do some stitching work and some polishing work on it, then it can be given back to the persons who are there in near in the bastis or near the railway stations and bus stand. You will find, so they are more than happy to get that thing. So that is how we can manage them. One question was regarding bulk waste generator, that how to control those bulk waste generators. Since these are very financially looking people, so here also the same thing as professor said, that Sam Dab done bed, and you need to strictly check the compliances. Even if you do an audit on quarterly basis or within 4 to 5 months, and you put 2 to 3 penalties, then that news goes into the whole city, and things will come into line. So that is the only thing, because all the bulk waste generator, they are more economically minded, focuses on the profits only. So that is how we can control them.
Thank you.
Sir, one question is from Pooja Pandey regarding that ICT vacuum
Yeah. In the
based
chat, yes.
thing. So that will be a challenge in the Indian cities with the old infrastructure. But I think in Gandhinagar Gift City, some development has been done there. But since the nature of the waste of our Indians, kadi, dal, pokhal bhat, so this thing makes this system even more difficult to be implemented. Otherwise, it is a good idea. But once people start doing segregation, once these 4 bin systems gets right set, then later on we can think on such highly developed systems.
Thank you, Manojji. Dr. Pandey, there is a question on looking at exclusion of the state level advisory board from this new rule, and also informal sector, like what would be potentially impact on informal sector workers. So how to the concern regarding the waste picker organization. This is from Nidhi Talreja. She's a PhD. I think she finished her PhD now from IIT Guwahati on waste management. So your take on these two?
So I'll take the second question first, and also Swati also touched on that in her opening remarks. Informal sector, as of now, as I understand the rules and as I understand the possibilities of engaging them, is the MRF centers. MRF centers, I mean, if you look at the current statistics, also around 4,000, 4,500 MRF centers already being established countrywide. If you look at the SBM website, and many more are in process. And ultimately, at some stage when the segregation becomes better, we would the MRF centers would also produce high quality recyclates. So that is where the focus currently is, and that is where is the possibility of engaging a lot of these informal sector workers, because that is their specialty, looking at collecting waste, especially of recycling value, sorting them according to their value, cleaning them if there is a preliminary cleaning required, and then aggregating them and selling them to waste aggregator for further recycling. So that's one possibility, and many cities have tried that. Surat has tried that, and many cities have tried that. And when the corporations, some corporations, when they bid out MRF centers, they put this precondition also that you'll have to essentially preferentially engage informal workers for the running of MRF center. That also addresses one conflict which we often find, where many ULBs complain that they set up MRF center but they don't get good quality recyclable material, because that's also already picked up by informal sector, informal waste workers. So that kind of partnership is needed to look at that both coexist and both it's a kind of symbiotic assessment with association between the two. On the advisory, state advisory, I'm not too sure, because the 2016 rule actually was also fairly ambitious. It required a national solid waste management policy and action plan, followed by state action plan and policy on the waste management, followed by local level waste action planning, and which has not really happened. Once you start populating this the data on State Pollution Control Board's website and Central Pollution Control Board's website regarding bulk waste generators and other institutional generators, probably that would bring in enough transparency to do away with the state away advisory board, but I'm not too sure on that. So maybe Swati, since she has raised hand, probably she would like to add.
Yeah, please.
Thanks, Dr. Dubey and Sunil. I think I do agree. The major problem when we talk about informal sector actors is that we are talking about their rights without meaningfully including them in discussions around policy or implementation. I mean, even look at this discussion, how many representatives of informal sector or actors are attending. So this is and remains a critical gap. And I feel, the real place of involving them, I mean, of course, state level advisory board, etc., is probably one place. And how many of them are rightfully included is still questionable. I assume there are a lot of agencies that works around waste pickers that do hold some space to attend these advisory board meetings. But then apart from that, we also have the local bylaws. And I feel a critical gap in the implementation of solid waste management rules also remains that we've not been able to strengthen the local municipal bylaws, which of course has been a gap with the 2016 rules, that how many cities sort of reworked their bylaws and made it made it synchronized with respect to the rules. And I think even for rules 2026, how many cities would be able to reforming their local bylaws? So clearly, I feel an informal sector actors play a critical role in the local municipal waste governance systems because they work on the ground, and they should rightfully be included when some of these bylaws would come into picture and they would be revised, because clearly, as Sunil said, strengthening of RRRs and sort of strengthening infrastructure of some of these centers, we really need to have the discussions with these actors to rightfully then strengthen implementation on the ground. So I feel they have a critical place in strengthening local municipal solid waste management bylaws than the state or central level rules. But yeah, you can have a difference of opinion on this.
So while Swati, you are there, we can add some more. This source segregation, which a question I also get many times. I'll not tell my answer first. I'll listen to you first on that question of should we focus on doing it at the source, or should we have some sort of secondary collection where people give it in mixed waste and then we do the segregation? When we say ULB does the segregation. So there are pros and cons of both, but what is, based on your experience, what do you think will work best?
I feel, thanks, Dr. Dubey, and I would want to hear, even your feedback on this, but I feel that to each city their own. Also, it's a deciding factor based on the size of the city, the population, the kind of waste that gets generated. So really, we need to map the basics to decide whether a centralized, treatment system is viable, say for towns like Panchgani, where it has worked well, or we need a more decentralized system. But clearly, for any systems that we propagate, source segregation is the key. I feel it should be done at two levels, probably a basic two-level segregation. I mean, out of the box, you ask households to do at even 3 is extremely difficult. It hasn't really been successful. So maybe a two-level segregation at household level, say for societies or, bulk waste generation, wherever bulk waste comes into picture, and then followed by a secondary level segregation where you sort it further into multiple fractions if the budgets allow, or then from 2 to you go to 4 to 6 to 15 or 16 as ambitious as you want to get. So I feel it's to each their own. Also, finances come into play, and also infrastructure comes into play here. I mean, whether the local municipality or a ward or a colony has created systems to support end-to-end segregation. So I feel if you're designing for segregation, then it needs to be end-to-end. If that is not the case, then you can have two level at source at least, because segregation is not optional by the Indian law. Every generation has to comply to segregation, and then probably you can proceed further with other streams.
So just I'll take a little bit of more of your time, then move to the other panelists, since there's this waste to energy, and I know you have written articles on it. I've read those articles on waste to energy in India and all that. And so, do you really think that waste to energy, based on the calorific value, I have worked with 11 or 12 cities. My personal opinion is I think we are not still ready for waste to energy, because our collection system, we do get moisture, rainwater getting into our trucks and all that. But what is the way? Do you see the future of waste to energy in India? There are a few questions on that, so I thought I'll just club it all together and throw it at
Yeah,
you.
very briefly. I mean, I've been working on this topic since many years, since being in CSE, and of course have like personally advocated for the cause as well in the capacity of an expert. And I've used several of your work as well, Dr. Brajesh, on many of the columns, articles, or reports. So nothing against the technology. I feel it's the composition of waste that should decide the technology, not the other way around. The problem is that cities are looking at it as a silver bullet, quick fix solution, which should not be the case. I've myself, through my experience professionally in India, have seen that, well, it's sold to municipalities as something that'll just like vanish your waste. It'll not exist, but that is not the case. And municipalities, they lack the knowledge and awareness to take decisions well of why it shouldn't be there. So I feel we need a hybrid approach around it. We probably may need, regional waste to energy plants to take care of, the high calorific value, non-recyclable waste. But then imagine Delhi NCR. I mean, Delhi itself has what, 4 functioning, 2, 3 proposed. I mean, the city is already a gas chamber, and we are sort of proposing more and more such plans. So clearly, we need more sustainable measures than completely and blindly relying on waste to energy. For many of the cities, as you rightly said, the composition does not allow us to go directly for a waste to energy. So, of course, biomethanization for wet waste can be one option, which is also waste to energy technology. But then any kind of incineration based technology should be rightfully thought after careful inventorization, a detailed thorough assessment and characterization of waste. And only if scientifically and with all those data and numbers it's established that the city needs an incineration plant, we would arrive at one, but not without doing all these checks and balances. So I'll stop here, and there's enough to read on this already. Yes.
So coming to Dr. Pandey, there are some questions on in terms of where the money will come from. In terms of World Bank, there was some reference to a World Bank report by Amrita that we will need 2.8 lakh crore, and so that's a lot of money to really implement 2026 rules. So where do you think that money will come? And there's also on EPR. So if you can, I think EPR, the rule is not diluting EPR as far as I have understood, but you can shed a light on that as well.
Yeah. So money, I mean, in as a very short response, money actually has to come from polluters. Polluters in the sense, in this case, because we always say polluter pays. So in this case, it's waste generators. So rules already have a provision of user fee, and user fee has to be key to basically funding many of these operations, because at some level we can't say that at least ULB should at least have OPEX, if not CAPEX, arranged through their day-to-day solid waste management services. But when the system matures, we would also expect a user fee to fund some of the capex, and we can't hope that such missions like Swachh Bharat mission would be ever running, which would provide such funding. With of course matching grants from state and ULBs, and so ULBs will have to a user fee collection network has to be broadened at the ULB level. It can be graded user fee. Large generators pay more, and smaller generators can be subsidized. Should be subsidized on the user fee, and especially, I mean, if you're looking at slum areas, maybe the waste can be collected free of cost from there if they don't have ability to pay, and it has to be cross subsidized. So that is one. And many municipalities have also looked at other innovative ways, advertising, tourism cess, and other. But these are kind of fillers to the larger user fee question, which can strengthen your the funds you accumulate for providing waste management services. And there are many cities which have actually shown that the revenue which they generate through user fee can actually fund the solid waste management services. And many cities have shown that if you use your money generated through user fee wisely, then there is very little difference between the cost which is incurred on solid waste management, which can be easily met from other sources as well. So it has to be user fee. And the first question, what was the first question?
First question was, of course, on the money, where the money will come from. So you already answered that. And then I think we talked about EPR as well. The second question was, is the EPR being diluted in 2026 rule? Which I don't
think per se, this is not a classical EPR in the sense that it only targets, as of now, bulk waste generators. It's not covering all waste generators that way. And the provision which it provides is either you treat the waste at your own premises, especially the wet waste, or if you are unable to do so because of your very structure of your society, or maybe limited space, or maybe very affluent inhabitants who can afford sending it to treatment facility, and so then you'll have to apply for a certificate saying that you want to send a waste to so and so waste processing agency. Idea is to basically track the waste once it leaves bulk waste generator premises, because many times the BWGs claim something and the waste goes somewhere else. The waste collector from there can go and dump it anywhere, saying that he has managed the waste from the BWG premises. So idea is to basically check that tendency. So in this case, EPR is a kind of it's not a classical EPR which you find with e-waste or plastic waste.
Okay, so that's good. So Manoj, there is some question on in terms of when you look at the waste management for residential complex. So there are several dry waste component is there, which is actually non-recyclable. So they are dry waste, but they are non-recyclable. So there are some concern. There is somebody, Pratima from Kerala, and also Aparna from Kolkata. They are saying that how to handle that kind of waste. What you do in Jamshedpur for that kind of waste, for example?
Whatever waste that is not recyclable, I think, because in a society, in society, if you see, many a time they just collect this recyclable material and they sell it to the those kabadiwalas normally, because they don't have those much facilities, and whatever is left for them, it may not be a value for at that stage, but since it is having a higher calorific value, so those things can go for our RDF plant, where we try to segregate whatever dry waste is there, and we send it to the cement industries. So that is the only options with the recyclable or good high value dry waste.
Okay. So of course there are some we are running out of time now. So I'll just try to club few questions and then probably and then you can include your last your closing remarks along with that questions. So in terms of if I come to you, Swati, first on that. So there is the question in terms of like whether how we will take care of informal sector in this new rule. They play a very major role. So what you should do in terms of in that domain, and also in so whether in terms of how the economics will work, that is also there, how to make things more economically viable. So of course for that technological interventions are needed, but in terms of some policy interventions and other things which in terms of city bylaws or any other ideas that you want to throw, and any of your concluding remarks, we can talk about that. Manoj, I'll come to you after that. Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Brajesh. I mean, when it comes to informal sector, clearly, one, of course, is mainstreaming their involvement in municipal solid waste management as well as plastics waste. I feel our cities are clean because we have the wealth of informal sector in countries such as India, but even other geographies. I feel they are the true environmentalists. So we really cannot do without them. We need to include them in governance processes, but also around implementation. And I feel there's no one way of doing it. There's no one way of integrating informal sector. We have several models running in the country that have successfully integrated informal sector. Look at Swachh Pune, or look at the work done in Ambikapur, or several other municipalities that have done commendable job. So we really need to look at some of these successful models, but also models where private sector have effectively integrated informal sector into strengthening plastic waste collection, or strengthening sorting and segregation. So I mean, it would be good to review some of the existing wealth of work that has been done by organizations and sort of fit it into our local context, be it at a ward level, at a village level, or a city level. In terms of my closing comments, I feel clearly a lot of groundwork needs to be strengthened. We have moved, it's been a decade of work where there's been some accomplishment in streamlining segregation, strengthening collection, which was a major problem in majority of the cities before 2016. But now I feel that door-to-door collection and even to some extent infrastructure is something that has been addressed in parts. I think we can never become 100%, but strive towards moving from waste management to more of material management, because when we address waste as material, we also sort of are released from the trap of looking waste as waste. And also, I mean, a decade of work towards generator accountability and strengthening the waste value chain. So look forward to the work with all the actors and panelists that are here, and as well as the attendees. Thanks.
So Manoj, you wanted to add something to that? You had your hand raised, and also there are several questions. I'm just trying to club all that together in the interest of time. There are several questions in terms of certain items in the waste. People don't know whether it is wet waste or dry waste, or even some of these household hazardous waste. People don't want to keep it in their house, so just they throw it out. Although there are, if you go for 2 bin and only periodic collection of those household hazardous, that's also a concern. So again, with your wealth of experience in Tata Nagar, if you can set some light on that along with your closing comment, then I'll come to Dr. Pandey for final thoughts.
Yes, sir. Actually, there are some cases where come to us also where people don't want to keep that waste in it. So in that case, what we do here is that I said that we have 200 special workers who do this door-to-door collection. So we train them for customer centricity. So whenever such issues are there, they speak to them, they try to understand, and they bring those points to for our discussion also whenever we have small meetings with them. So in that case, we do follow. If they feel not keeping their waste in there, then we take that waste on daily basis from them also. Like you, in some cases, you see that the non-veg they don't want to keep into the houses. So we have a complaint-based system also. So if such cases are there, then they can put a complaint also. Our people can reach and then they can collect, because throughout the day we have these laborers working in the complete in each and every corner of the cities. So whatever the nearest point is there, we get collected. We have an app system, so those complaints come to the nearest supervisor from where the waste is generated. Another thing is that we were talking about that informal sector. Just want to put one thought on that. See, informal sector, we tried a lot to bring into our system. Like we have taken around 200 plus rag pickers into our system. But what happens is that once you take them into our system, then another 150 will develop into their place, because that place has been vacant. So that is not a solution. We need to provide them ID card. We need to see that they don't enter into the market areas. We keep a watch on them. We need to be stringent on them. And for the informal collectors, the kabadiwalas and all, though they also have this worker loyalty towards them. If some 10-15 workers are working from them, if you give them higher pay also, they won't come. They will go to that kabadiwala only because during any emergencies or during marriage, they provide financial supports to them. And even those kabadiwala also, if you want to bring them into a role like in our MRF, we try to engage those people. But that number is also very high, and they also don't want, because they consider their thing as a family business, and the generations have been doing that business. So we need to create a platform for them, so that their transaction becomes easy. Like they have a platform where if they have collected even 1 ton of plastic also, then they should not wait to bring it to 10 tons, so that they can arrange a vehicle and send it to some bigger recycler. So we need to collect a platform where they bring those things at our platform, and within 1 day that material can be collected from 4-5 such a thing, and can be the logistics should be there, so that becomes easy, and and those material they come into our counting also. So that is one thing. And in my views, city need to move from collection focused approach to a complete waste value chain approach, where every stage from generation to processing is well designed and monitored. So the more we monitor, the more we will able to find the loopholes, and the more we will be able to control that. That's all, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Manojji. And then now I come to Dr. Pandey for the final remarks for this webinar. And Dr. Pandey, if you can, like, where do you see like people like you and me who kind of comes from academia, because Terry and IITs are kind of working in a lot of research. And so what role do you see for us in type of helping the ULBs, helping the country in general, uh, to kind of meet the needs of the 2026 rules, so that it gets implemented successfully across the country, which we all want to, which we all aspire that it should happen. Please.
Sure. So one is, I mean, looking at helping ULBs to take informed decisions. Swati also pointed out that when she was discussing waste to energy, there many times ULBs are faced with options which they are not too sure whether they would work on ground or not, and also looking at innovation and solutions, and kind of handhold ULBs to look at innovations, because innovations most of the time will not have any memory in the sense of that working elsewhere successfully. And many times looking at different sized ULBs, a different kind of solution would work, which also was brief, explained well by Swati. So this is these are the two rules which I see for people like us when we work with ULBs.
Okay, so any closing remarks from you, Dr. Pandey? You want to say something more, or is it that's it from you?
I mean, I hope we will implement this fast enough, and it shouldn't be another 10 years, and then by the time we are due with another revision in the rule or another notification,
Yes.
we realize that this rule is still not fully implemented like 2016. So.
Okay, so with this, with the final word from Dr. Pandey, we'd like to close it. Usually we try to not exceed 60 minutes, but to see whenever you talk about waste, there are so many passionate people across the country We had more than 97 participants at one point of time. So now I would hand it back to Akanksha for final wrap up.
Thank you, Professor Dubey, and I would like to thank all the panelists for taking time out and sharing your insights on such a hot debate and topic for everybody. And with the participation from the attendees, the kind of discussions that we've been having on the chat as well as on the Q&A. Thank you so much for all the attendees to taking part in this. As I mentioned, this webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded on our website and on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our newsletter and stay updated on our future events. Follow us on social media. Thank you again for taking time out. Good evening to all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks.
And pleasure interacting with everyone as always.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. So, I think it's stopped recording now, isn't it?
It will stop now.
Okay.